Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Meenal Dhal from Department of Anthropology, University of Delhi. Today we'll start with the module Classification of Indian Population from the paper Human Population Genetics. The learning objectives of this module will be you shall be able to understand the human typology, that is morphological and genetical traits that can be used in classifying the population. You would learn and identify the Indian population given by different anthropologists, and you would also understand the criticism made by many people based on the given classified Indian population. Now, to start with the introduction, throughout the globe, there is abundant human variation. Inhabitants of different countries are more or less distinct both physically and culturally. This rule of geographic diversity is applicable to animals, plants, as well as humans. The Homo sapiens are a polytypic species with unique evolutionary pattern. Polytypism in fact is the variability between populations or groups. It is different from polymorphism, which is the variability within the population. But polymorphism serves as a store of genetic raw material of the origin of polytypism. Geographic races are Mendelian population of a species that inhabit different territories, and they differ in the incidence of some genes or alleles in their gene pool. The main responsible for the formation of races are mutation, natural selection, genetic drift, migration, isolation, hybridization, sexual selection, and social selection. Houghton defined race as a great division of mankind, the members of which, though individually varying, are characterized as a group by a certain combinations of morphological and metrical features, principally non-adaptive, which have been derived from their common descents. Different anthropologists have proposed different classifications of mankind. However, it could be said that there are three major races of man, and these are Negroid, Caucasoid, and Mongoloid. Some anthropologists want to call the Australoids a separate major racial group. In that case, there are four major races, or nowadays we call these races as ethnic groups. All anthropologists have agreed that each of the major ethnic groups or races can be divided into certain groups or subgroups. Indian population comprises of more than a billion people, consists of 4,693 communities with several thousands of endogamous groups, 325 functioning languages, and 25 scripts. In some geographical regions of India, inbreeding is practiced. The population inbreeding coefficient in India varies from 0.00 to 0.20. Besides, different waves of migration has led to admixture of different ethnic groups, cultures and languages with the native population, thereby contributing significantly to the present day gene pool of the subcontinent. With the exception of Africa, such an extent of genetic diversity is not observed in comparable global regions. Indian population can be to a large extent substructured on the basis of their ethnic origins as well as linguistic lineages. All the four major morphological types, that is Caucasoid, Mongoloid, Australoid and Negroid, are present in Indian population. The Caucasoid and Mongoloid population are mainly concentrated in the north and northeastern parts of India. The Australoids are mostly confined to the central, western and southern India, while the Negroids are restricted only to the Andaman Islands. Linguistically, Indian population belong to four major language families, that is Indo-European, Dravidian, Tibeto-Burman and Austro-Asiatic. The Indo-European and Dravidian languages are spoken in the northern and southern parts of India respectively. The Tibeto-Burman speakers are concentrated in the northeastern parts of the country. The Austro-Asiatic speakers are exclusively tribals and are dispersed mostly in the central and eastern parts of India. Molecular diversity studies have revealed that Austro-Asiatic speakers are likely to have been the most ancient inhabitants of India. After Risley's classification of the people of India, more attempts have been contributed by different people in the classification of Indian population. Each classification has been attempted in a specific manner. Indian classification given by Risley, Guha, Haddon, Guha and Sarkar have been discussed, or we will discuss it one by one. Criteria for human typology. Ever since the recognition of human variability, attempts have been made to understand not only the extent of variability but also to decipher groups of humans having characteristic features peculiar to them. The questions of a broadly acceptable and clear-cut classification of mankind have engaged in attention of anthropologists in general and physical anthropologists in particular. Consequently, the earlier anthropological literature is largely devoted to an evaluation and assessment of observable somatic characteristics like skin color, hair form, texture and color, head shape, nose form, etc. Before, such criteria were used only for the purpose of human taxonomy. Later, it was realized that these observable traits by and large are not objective, as the observers are likely to make different interpretations and categorizations of a particular observation, say skin color or hair form, etc. With this realization, emphasis gradually shifted to such trait which can be measured and reduced to mathematical expression, and that is how the somatic measurements came to be considered as a criteria for human typology. This naturally resulted into a critical evaluation of the techniques of measurement and their standardization. It was believed that accurate measurements would enable us to work out better and dependable classification of the human species and also help in understanding the process of human evolution. Therefore, volumes of literature appeared on this subject and morphological and metric traits continue to be used extensively. After the introduction of the genetics and the availability of the details of such genetical characteristics such as blood group, physical anthropologists could not stop the temptation of using genetical characteristics in ethnic discrimination. With more clarification and realization of the better dependability of genetical traits, gradually the emphasis changed in their favor and they were adopted in human taxonomic studies. Today we know that numerous genetic characteristics with known mode of inheritance are being used as criteria for human typology. Thus, we find that broadly speaking, the characteristics that may be used for the establishment of physical grouping of mankind are either morphological or genetical or both. Here you can see the Indian classification given by different contributors, Risley, Haddon and Guha, Sarkar, they all gave classifications on the basis of different parameters of somatometric and genetical traits. Let's start with the Risley's classification. Sir Herbert Hope Risley attempted to solve racial problem with the help of anthropometry. His attempt is regarded as a landmark in the study of man in India. Risley published his results in 1908 in his book The People of India. In 1915, he classified Indian people into 7 ethnic types, which we will discuss one by one. The first one is Turco-Iranian group. They are found in Baluchistan and Afghanistan. Their representatives are the Pathans, who are found in some parts of northwest India as a minority group. They were well built, tall statured, with fair complexion, long head, and moderate to narrow nose. They have plenty of hairs on their face. The second classification of Risley is Indo-Aryan. The Indo-Aryan were migrated into India from Central Asia. They are presently found in Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. Their main physical traits are tall stature, fair complexion, long arms, long head, narrow and prominent nose, broad shoulders and heavy to slim bodies. Their representative communities are the Rajputs, Khatris and the Jats of northern India. Third one is Scytho-Dravidian. They are an admixture of Scythian and the Dravidians. Some of the anthropologists hold that the Sarkars belong to Scythian race which came to India from Central Asia. They settled in the Sindh province of Pakistan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. Scythian features are pronounced in higher caste, while the Dravidian features are associated with the lower strata of society. The Marathas are considered to be the representatives of Scythian Dravidian race. Their main features are low stature, long head, moderate nose, light brown to fair complexion and scanty body hairs. The fourth one is Aryo-Dravidian type. It is an amalgamation of Aryans and the Dravidians. This group is found in parts of Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Their elements are present in both the lower and the upper caste of Brahmins and the scheduled caste. Their complexion varies from light brown to black and they have long head, short stature and medium to broad nose. The fifth one is Mongolo-Dravidian. They are an intermixture of Mongoloids and Dravidians. They are mostly found in West Bengal and Orissa and they were usually Brahmins and Kayas. Their characteristics include broad head, dark complexion, flat nose, short to medium stature and plentiful hair on face. The sixth type is Mongoloid type. They are found in the Himalayan and sub-Himalayan regions stretching from Ladakh to Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh and the hills of northeast India. They are of short stature, yellow in complexion, have medium broad nose, flat face and oblique eyes with an epicanthic fold. Their representatives are the Kinnets of Lahul Spiti and Kullu, the Lepchas and Bhutia of Sikkim and the Tharus of Tarai region of Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. The last classification given by Risley is Dravidian type. They are found particularly in South India, that is Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, southern Madhya Pradesh, Odisha and southern Rajasthan. Their representatives are the Santhals of Chota Nagpur Plateau, the Todas of Nilgiri, the Juangs of Odisha, the Gonds of Bastar and the Bhils of Rajasthan. They are probably the ancient people of India but have been influenced by the admixture of Aryans, the Scythians and Mongoloid people. They are characterized by short stature, dark complexion, hairy body, curly hair, long head and broad nose. He divided the entire population into 3 basic racial groups with 7 subtypes but did not put the aboriginals or tribal people into any separate racial groups. And these 3 basic types are the Dravidians, the Indo-Aryans and the Mongolians. The classification given by Risley is totally based on somatometry and somatoscopic measurements. In 1921, Guha classified people of India into 6 ethnic types, which are as follows. The very first one is Negritos. This group is represented by Vedas and some South Indian forest tribe. The second one is the Pre-Dravidian or Australoid. This is representative of or represented by Vedic Santhals, Mundas, Oraons, etc. The third one is the Dravidians, where Telugu and Tamil speaking people belong to this type. The fourth one is tall dolichocephalics. This element is very well represented in the Todas. And the fifth one is dolichocephalic Aryans. They are also referred to as Homo dolichomorphous brachiomorphous. The last type given by this scientist is brachycephalic leucoderms, and they are also referred to as Homo Indo-Europeans brachiomorphous. The classification given by A.C. Haddon. While reconstructing the racial background of India, A.C. Haddon has classified India into 3 main geographic regions and has distinguished many races confined to these geographical zones. These zones are as follows. The first one is the Himalayan zone, where the first subtype is Indo-Aryan. They resemble Indo-Afghan, having tall stature, fair complexion and fine features, but they are characterized by long head and plentiful facial hair. The Kinnets of Kullu Valley well represented this group. However, they have a trace of the Mongoloid or Tibetan race. Second subtype is Mongoloid. This is dominating element in Nepal, Bhutan and Sikkim, etc. The ethnic groups of Assam have been classified separately on the basis of nose form and head in the following group. The first one is the Pre-Dravidians, characterized by platyrian nose and dolichocephalic head. This element can be easily observed among Khasi, Kuki, Manipuri and Kachari, etc. A group comprising Naga and other hill tribes are characterized by dolichocephalic head and Mizorini nose. Dolichocephalic is long and broad, long and narrow head, and Mizorini is the medium type of nose. The third one is the group represented by Khasis, characterized by medium head and platyrini nose. Second type is northern zone, called as Hindustan. The Indo-Gangetic plains are the northern plains and are dominated by the Indo-Afghan ethnic type. They are characterized by dolichocephalic head, straight or convex prominent nose, long face and regular feature, medium to tall stature, dark eyes, light brown complexion and black wavy hair. The typical representatives are the Jats and Rajputs. The lower caste people seems to have an admixture of Indo-Afghans with the aboriginal people. The third type given by Haddon is Deccan. In Deccan, the first subtype is Negrito. Negrito elements are believed to be represented by Kadars of Cochin, Uralis of Nilgiri hills and Pulians of Palni hills. Generally, they have medium head, flat nose, flattened occiput and protruding forehead. Complexion is dark with black hair and brown eyes. Their lips are somewhat fleshy and everted. Second subtype of Deccan is Pre-Dravidian. They form the oldest population. They are dolichocephalic, short stature, platyrini people. Their skin color is dark brown to nearly black. Some of the representatives are Bhils, Gonds, Oraon and Santhals. Third subtype is the Dravidian type. The characteristics are head is dolichocephalic, nose is Mizorini, stature is medium, skin color is brownish black, and the example of this Dravidian type is Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu speaking people. Fourth one is southern brachiocephals. Head is mesocephalic to brachiocephalic and nose is medium. This type is represented by the Panyan in the Tamil district and the Pavara fishermen of the Tinley coast. The fifth subtype of Deccan is western brachiocephals. They are occupying the regions extending from Gujarat to Coorg along the western coast. They have brachiocephalic head, almost leptorrhini nose, light brown complexion and tall stature. The examples of western brachiocephals are the Nagar Brahmins of Gujarat, the Prabhu, etc., and they are the Scytho-Dravidians of Risley. Ixted's classification was given in 1934. D. E. von Ixted studied both physical characteristics as well as the cultural material. He classified the people of India into four main divisions, which are: the first one is the Vedid. They are ancient Indians and are the most primitive people living in the forest. They are further divided into two groups. The first one is Gonded group. They are characterized by dark brown complexion and curly hairs. Matriarchal influence and totemistic beliefs are quite apparent. They are known to use mattocks and are represented by bheels, gonds, oraons and juangs. The second subtype is Malit. They have dark brown skin color and curly hair. Their culture is quite ancient but influenced by outside sources. They are represented in Kurumbas and Vedas. The second type of his classification is Milanid type, which is also referred to as Black Indians. Ethnically, they are mixed group and may be divided into two subdivisions, which are: the first one is Southern Milanid. This type is represented by the Yanadi. Characteristically, they are black-brown in complexion and they inhabit in the southernmost plains of India. The matriarchy is present in their group. The second type is Kolid type. They belong to North Deccan forest, have strong totemistic beliefs and matriarchal influence and are characterized by their black-brown skin color, which is lighter than the southern Milanid. The third type is Indid type. They are actually culturally advanced with fine physical characteristics. They are also referred to as New Indians and can be divided into subgroups. The first one is Glacial Indid, which is characterized by brown skin color. They are patriarchal in nature. Generally, they have a gracile appearance. The Bengalis represent this group. The second subtype is the North Indid, which is characterized with the light brown skin, and they are patriarchal and are well represented by the Rajputs and the Todas. The fourth type of given by the researcher or the scientist is Paleo-Mongoloid type. They are represented by the Palayan from the Wayanad and are characterized by their yellow skin, straight hair and presence of epicanthic fold. The classification given by B.S. Guha of Indian ethnic group is 6 divisions. This is based on the original anthropometric measurements made by him during the 1931 census operation. The 6 ethnic groups are Negrito, Proto-Australoids, Mongoloid, Mediterranean, Western Brachiocephals and Nordic. Negrito, they are considered to be the first commoners or immigrants of India. Their physical characteristics are small head which is round, medium or long, nose is straight, flat and broad, very short or pygmy stature, dark brown to dark skin color, woolly hairs, bulbous forehead, supraorbital ridges are smooth. In recent years, they are represented in Kadars, Pulians, that is, people from Cochin and Travancore, irregular and primitive tribes of Wayanad, but at present they are much limited and seem to have been pushed into the hills of Southeast Asia. Their head form and hair structure are more close to the Melanesian pygmies than to the Andamanis. Proto-Australoid type, they are characterized by a dolichocephalic head, markedly platyrini nose which is depressed at the root, short stature, dark brown skin color, wavy or curly hairs. Limbs are delicate, forehead less developed and slightly retreating. Supraorbital ridges are often prominent. They are closely akin to the Australian tribes. They markedly differ from the Negritos in having wavy hairs instead of the frizzly or woovy of the latter. These are found in the Pulian women, Urali, Baiga, etc. The tribes like Orao, Munda of Chota Nagpur region, Chenchu, Kurumba, Bhils and Kols of central and western India. The third type is Mongoloid type. They are believed to have entered India through northeastern routes in successive waves of migration. The Mongoloids are distinguished by scanty growth of hair on body and face, obliquely set eyes showing epicanthic fold, flat face with prominent cheekbones and straight hair, and epicanthic fold is the only feature found in Mongoloid ethnic group. The first subtype of Mongoloid is Paleo-Mongoloids. The Paleo-Mongoloids has again subdivided into long-headed type and broad-headed type. The long-headed type possess long head, medium nose and medium stature. Their cheekbones are prominent, skin color is dark to light brown, short and flat face, supraorbital regions are faintly developed, they inhabit the sub-Himalayan regions. This type is found in the tribes of Assam and Burma frontiers. The Sima Nagas of Assam and Limbus of Nepal are said to be the true representative of this type. The second type is the broad-headed type, possesses broad head, round face, dark skin color and medium nose, obliquely set eyes which show marked epicanthic fold. This element is represented by the Lepchas of Kalimpong and in the hill tribes of Chittagong like the Chakmas, Mughs, etc. The second subtype of Mongoloid is Tibeto-Mongoloid. The head is broad and massive, long and flat face, tall stature, long or medium nose, eyes are oblique, having marked epicanthic fold, body hair and facial hair are markedly absent, light brown skin color. They are well represented by the Tibetan of Bhutan and Sikkim. It is believed that they must have infiltrated from Tibet in comparatively later times. Mediterranean or Dravidian type is the fourth type. They comprises three distinct racial types based on their stature, head, complexion, etc. The first one is Paleo-Mediterranean. They have medium stature, dark skin with slight build. The head is long, narrow and vault high with bulbous forehead and slightly projecting occiput. Face is usually narrow, prominent, moderately broad and fleshy. Facial and body hairs are scanty. The representative of this type are the Tamil, Telugu, Brahmins and Nayars. The second type is Mediterranean proper. They are characterized by long head with arched forehead, long face, narrow and prominent nose, tall to medium stature, light skin color. They have plentiful body and facial hair, dark hair and eyes brownish to dark brown. Chin is well developed. The true representatives are the Numbadari Brahmins of Cochin, Brahmins of Allahabad and Maratha women of Indore. The Bengali Brahmins also show this type of characteristics. Probably this type was responsible for the building of Indus Valley civilization. The third subtype of Mediterranean or Dravidian classification is Oriental. This is the latest of the Mediterranean to enter India. It is very similar to the Mediterranean type but differs in the nose, which is long and convex. Skin color is light. They have always been concentrated in Asia Minor and Arabia, from where they must have come to India. Their typical representatives are in Punjab, Rajputana and western Uttar Pradesh. The fifth type is Western Brachycephals. It is believed that more than one type of broad-headed ethnic group entered into the composition of Indian people. They can be distinguished into three types, that is Alpinoid, Dinak and Armenoid. Alpinoid characteristics of this type include broad head with rounded occiput, prominent nose and round face. Their complexion is lighter than that found among Mediterranean. Body and facial hair are plentiful. Body is strongly built. They are represented by Bania of Gujarat, the Kathi of Kathiwara and the Kayast of Bengal. Second subtype of Western Brachycephal is Dinak. They are taller in stature with dark skin, hair and eye color. They are characterized by broad head with rounded occiput and high vault. Nose is very long and often convex. Face is long with forehead receding. This type is well represented in Bengal, Odisha and Kurk. These typical representatives include Bengali Brahmins and Canaries Brahmins of Mysore. The third one is Armenoid. They show strong similarity with Dinaric type. They, however, are characterized by broad head, narrow nose with depressed tip. Their occiput is more marked and nose more prominent than the Dinarics. Tawny skin, white skin color, and they are short to medium stature. Parsis of Bombay are typical representatives of this type. Besides, Bengali, Baidyas and Kayas exhibit the features. When we talk about the Nordic group or classification, they are believed to have come from the Central Asia, Turkestan or a little west of the region. They entered India through northwest and settled in Punjab. They are characterized by long head with arched forehead and protruding occiput. Their face is long with strong jaw, nose is very fine, straight and narrow, moderate to tall stature with robust body build and fair complexion. Their eyes have bluish or greyish tinge. S.S. Sarkar's classification. He gave his classification in 1954. He proposed a classification based on cephalic index. Cephalic index is calculated by taking head length and head breadth. According to him, India is predominantly a dolichocephalic country. However, mesocephals and brachycephals are also found in appreciable numbers. Sarkar's analysis indicate that there are 6 ethnic elements constituting the main type in Indian populations. The first one is Australoid. Australoids have referred to by different names like Proto-Australoids, Pre-Dravidian or Vedic, etc. It may be stated that certain groups of South India like Urali, Paniyan, Kadar, etc. have preserved the original form of Australoids. Sarkar believes that Australoids form the earliest substratum of the population of India and once were widely distributed throughout the country. It seems that Australoid element is represented in all the castes, but it is greatly concentrated among the lower caste. The Australoids are characterized by their short stature, dark complexion, dolichocephalic head, platyrini nose and wavy hairs. The second type given by Sarkar is Indo-Aryan type. Indo-Aryans are tall in stature, have lighter complexion and eye color. Their head hair is also lighter than the Australoids. They have a long and massive head with higher cranial capacity and robust body build. Their best representatives are the Baltics of Hindu Kush mountain. The third one is Irano-Scythian. They are believed to have entered India from the northwest. They are medium statured with mesocephalic head. The index is from 77 to 79, unlike the Indo-Aryans. They are found in eastern Bihar, Bengal and Assam. Since Irano-Scythians, after their entry into India, also moved southwards along the Indus Valley and extended to Gujarat, Maharashtra and then to Mysore and Deccan, etc. Therefore, the population of these regional frequently exhibits the Irano-Scythian elements in their physical features. The fourth one is Mundari speaking people. Sarkar described them as a people of stocky build and thick set with short stature, long headed with lighter skin color than the Australoid. Their thick straight hair is nearly similar to those of Mongolians. They are confined to the river valleys and plateaus of eastern central India, that is Chota Nagpur, Orissa hills and Madhya Pradesh. They migrated from east and they appear to have some sort of affinities with the Mongoloid. The fifth type is Far Eastern. It is an established fact that from the ancient times India had connection with the islanders of Southeast Asia. Therefore, Malayan Polynesian element is observed to some amount of certain population of eastern littoral, most particularly along the coast of Chittagong hill tracts. Sarkar states that the Malayan racial strain is distinct from the ethnic elements mentioned before in having a darker skin color, broad to wavy broad head and short stature with tendency to obesity in general. The last type given by Sarkar is Mongolian type. Mongolians inhabit the northeastern border of India and the foothills of Himalayas. They are characterized by yellow tinge complexion, body and facial hairs are scanty, and Mongolian eye fold or epicanthic fold and other typical features are also present. Now let's summarize this module by discussing the criticism from different anthropologists. The Risley's classification had faced considerable criticism from different authorities, especially in respect of the Dravidians, Scytho-Dravidians and the Mongoloid Dravidians. Haddon also disagreed with the Risley's classification as he believed that the oldest existing stratum is represented by various pre-Dravidian jungle tribes. However, in his assessment, maybe the original inhabitants of the Ganges Valley in the western Bengal, the brachiocephalic element, according to Haddon, is traceable to alpine migration. Though extended attempt is quite appreciable, his classification is not at all convincing. It is open to severe criticism, though Guha's classification has been widely accepted and is used in understanding the ethnic element in Indian population. It has not been accepted by some of the authorities and the criticism has been made mainly on the various points. The first one is Guha's finding regarding the Negrito element have been opposed. The second is Guha considers that India must have been the paradise for the evolutionary diversification, different racial types. The third one is the extent of brachiocephalization as envisaged by Guha has been denied particularly by the SS Sarkar. And fourth one, the coefficient of racial likelihood which forms the basis of Guha's ethnic classification has not been accepted universally. According to Sarkar, dolichocephalic is predominant in Indian population. The presence of Negrito element in Indian population has been controversial issue since 19th century and many people gave their own thoughts. In 1959, Sarkar along with his colleagues, made a study on various aspects of the physical features such as anthropometry, somatoscopy, ABO blood group, dermatoglyphic traits, and hair of the kadar, and conclude that no negrito element is found among them, and they may be listed along with Panyan, Kanikar, etc. as one of the Australoid tribes. However, we cannot rule out completely the possibility of penetrance of Negrito trait into certain population of India, particularly a coastal group. As stated in the above, that mutation, natural selection, genetic drift, migration, isolation, hybridization, sexual selection and social selection are the main responsible for the formation of these ethnic groups, and these factors may happen at any time and affect the population in various ways. Therefore, there must be a Negrito element in Indian population. Thank you.